When I was a kid, my grandpa took me up the mountain to collect firewood. Suddenly, I saw a figure in the distance waving at me. Just as I was about to speak, my grandpa covered my mouth. He picked me up and carefully ran down the mountain. Only after we reached the foot of the mountain and the shadow completely disappeared did my grandpa finally dare to breathe heavily. Then he took me and rushed home. When we got back, my grandma asked what happened. My grandpa gasped and said, "A bear? I saw a black bear on the mountain. Our village is surrounded by mountains and there are wild wolves and foxes up there. But we have never seen a black bear." I said, "I didn't see a bear. I only saw a person. You're young. You don't understand how dangerous a black bear is. It can imitate humans." I froze for a few seconds before realizing what he meant. So when it waved at me just now, was it trying to lure me over to eat me? Black bears love eating children the most since a black bear appeared on the mountain. "I have to go tell the villagers so no one gets eaten," my grandma said. "Be careful on the road. It's foggy today. Don't run into the bear." My grandpa went into the storage room, took out a sickle and put it on his back. "Go inside. It's daytime." The bear wouldn't dare come into the village. After saying that, he went out with the sickle. My grandma closed the yard gate and locked it. "Ethan, get inside." I said, "Grandma, aren't you coming in?" She rolled up her sleeves and smiled and said, "I'll come in after I finish washing these clothes. You go inside first." After saying that, she continued washing clothes and I went inside first. I had just walked to the heated brick bed when I suddenly heard knocking at the yard gate. The knocking was very loud. My grandma looked toward the gate, but the fog was thick and she couldn't see anything clearly and didn't know who was knocking. "Who is it?" No one responded. "Old man, is that you?" Just after my grandma said that, the gate started shaking violently as if it was about to be smashed open. My grandma frowned and her face turned ugly. She rushed into the storage room and brought out a pile of dry branches. She threw the branches on the ground and then used a match to light them. I quickly ran into the yard and ran to my grandma and asked, "What are you doing? Why did you come out? Get back inside." My grandma pushed me back into the house. She held a torch and stood in the yard. She stood there the whole time until the thick fog disappeared. It was almost noon and the branches on the ground had burned out. My grandma collapsed on the ground crying heavily. I hurried over and asked Grandma what happened. "Why did you light the fire?" My grandma touched my head and said softly, "The one knocking just now wasn't a person. It was a black bear and it will come back." Just as she finished speaking, my grandpa came into the yard. His face looked bad and his brows were tightly furrowed. "Old man, what happened?" I sighed and said, "The villagers don't believe there is a black bear on the mountain. They say I'm old and saw it wrong." My grandma said, "Just now, I heard knocking. I asked twice and no one answered. I suspected it was the bear, so I lit the dry branches." I gathered more courage. He first carefully looked at me, then carefully looked at my grandma, then looked again to make sure we were safe before relaxing. The bear didn't get in, right? I lit a fire at the gate. It didn't get in.